Hello everyone, this is Jacob with our first part of Zero to Hero series for Season 9. In this season, with all the passive tree changes and everything, I decided to go back to my favorite character, which would be Carino 2. Most of the content creators will tell you that Carino 2 is not the great league starter. I would agree, but it is not impossible to league start with it. So, as a first character, disadvantage of Carino 2 is that the game basically forces you to play an attack skill with a ranged weapon, because you are not dropping any other weapons other than ranged weapons throughout your story. So, at your first playthrough, you simply have to go with that. I was on a vacation, so I don't have the footage of me playing the story, but I saved the build that I played with. Every time I play a new league start, I'm trying to do different skills. This season, I decided to go with split shot. As you can see, I've made a few builds already as I progressed. For the story, until level 15 or when you get your hero trait, just stick with whatever the game throws at you. And at level 15, once you get your first hero trait, which is this one, you have to complete a certain quest in the storyline as well to open this. So once you get this, your projectiles can shotgun, and I was thinking like, which skill actually gives extra projectiles? And split shot does that. So split shot at base gets 3 extra projectiles. You support it with like extra multiple projectiles as well. So you are starting with a bunch of projectiles. You play Carino, even though you are playing with ranged weapon, you are playing him in a melee range, so you are running into monsters to shotgun them with a bunch of projectiles, which was the idea of this build. So I will go over the build here just to have something for the people that are starting. So we need to start from scratch. So yeah, let's go into it. First few things, any ranged weapon that will increase your hit damage is great. So dexterity is percentage damage, but you want to early on you want to focus on additional damage to attacks or the gear. This ring provides that, but you can get that one later on throughout the story. This amulet does nothing for the build, pretty much, but gives you attack speed. You can get better amulets throughout the story. Notable armor that you can get pretty early on is this one, Phantasm. You can get it from the second trope you encounter, so I would recommend farming that, because when you put enough points into damage, this armor actually lets you run and kill monsters while you are running. It helps you a lot with story progression. Being able to run and actually deal damage while running. For other items, I mean anything that gives you damage, actually, really. This belt gives you a lot of survivability in the story because it gives you passive regen. Helps a lot as well. I think already mentioned, gives you flat damage to the skills. We'll go over the skills as well. Up until you get the hero trait, just use the lightning shot or whatever the skill is called. Supported with multiple projectiles and whatever, like added phase or added lightning and jump for better clear. And at level 15, you can just stick with that and continue with the lightning shot, but I swapped to split shot, multiple projectiles, wind and slow projectiles, and added fist eventually was my go-to. For healing skill, I've been using Resurrection Warcry for the entire campaign, but you can. I was using this because it only has cooldown, so you can use it infinite amount of time as on bosses. Compared to the other healing skills that have free charges and then you are done on bosses pretty much. So yeah, I went with Resurrection Warcry, but the other healing skills work just fine. For movement skill, centralized loading, it has 1 second cooldown, so you cannot use it all the time, but it also gives you a bunch of damage. So that paired with the Phantasm armor actually makes it possible to kill monsters with the armor, with other like sources of damage as well. So that is that. Then the first Empower skill. I always look for something that is up and I don't have to think about it and I don't have to press it all the time. And Burst of Anger does just that. You have a buff that lasts for 6 seconds and resets its duration whenever you kill something or or hit a rare monster or a boss. So this buff is up pretty much all the time as long as you are running. And other, I would consider an Empower skill would be Focus Shot. You just press that 1 or 2 times at the beginning of a new map, and you get your Fervor buff, which increases your critical strike chance. And you stack it to 100, and then you have like extra crit chance, so your Split Shot does more damage. That's why I used this here. If I was playing the character again, I would maybe start using Focus Shot as I would try using Focus Shot as the main skill instead of Split Shot. That's for next season, I guess, or whenever I play Carino again. For passive skills, Thunder Focus, that's a no-brainer, deals damage as you run around. And then summon Fire Magus and precise projectiles as you get it eventually. For hero traits, you don't get the trait until later, but this one actually lets you shoot pretty much all the time. Because once you hit level 15 or once you get this trait, you start using ammo and you have to stop shooting for periods of time to be able to reload ammo. This trait actually lets you shoot pretty much all the time without having to think about reloading at all. So that's why I use it throughout the campaign progression. And for the passive tree, I would just stick with whatever the game recommended. So Goddess of Hunting, focusing on percentage damage. Throughout the campaign, percentage damage is great because you don't have many other sources of percentage damage from gear or elsewhere. So percentage damage on 3 early on. Later on, you just swap it for survivability, basically. But that's for the next video. Movement speed helps you get through the maps faster. The 45% cooldown recovery speed for mobility skills actually lets you keep the buff from centralized loading up more consistently. And skill area and projectile speed just to be able to clear monsters faster. You could swap this for more attack speed and be just fine. Maybe even here. And then again, damage, and even more damage after using mobility skill. You are using mobility skill pretty much all the time, so yeah. And for these, Agility Blessings, as a no-brainer, just gives you more damage, attack, and cast speed. If you are playing the lightning skill, Impermanence actually is a great damage boost for that one as well, because the damage spread on lightning skills is so huge. You have so low lower side of the damage and so high upper that this like negative effect does almost nothing, while this boosts the damage a lot. So I would consider Impermanence if I was playing the lightning shot instead as well, but the Perception has just flat damage and attack speed works just fine. 3 birds with 1 stone, 2 extra projectiles. That's a no-brainer on Carino, where your projectiles can shotgun, so that's that. The second one, marksman with Gale, so you scale projectile speed into damage. So that's why I have the projectile speed picked in Goddess of Hunting, because you scale it into damage later on through Gale. You can respec the points whenever until you hit level 91. So you can early on go with attack speed or damage, and then once you get Gale, swap the points around for projectile speed here. That is up to you. And for the other points, again, damage, more damage, even more damage, projectile speed scaled into damage, and more projectile speed scale into more damage as well. Crit, and even more projectile damage against enemies in proximity. And as I said at the beginning of the video, Carino 2 is played as a melee character, at least early on. Enemies within 4 meters are considered proximity, so you are sticking with monsters to deal more damage. And some crit, and horizontal projectile penetration for better clear. Either this or jump, that's up to you. And for the third one, the game recommends Blade Runner, so why not? I simply do not want to think about it much throughout during the story, because you are respecing right after the story when other weapons and other skills open to you at level 55. So yeah, just more damage here, some attack speed, some more projectile speed scaled into damage through Gale, and I ended up with crit rating here. And that was the last point I did, which was at around level 60 or 61 when I was swapping, but I will keep the swap for the next video. So yeah, for Pack Spirits, just use whatever you have. Really early on, once you are able to get to the last point here, if you have Red Umbrella, Paralysis actually gives you 15% extra damage. So this one is great. Iron Lion is great as well. So if you have one of those, I would recommend using them for the first Pack Spirit here. So for extra projectiles or paralysis, both are great. If you don't have them, just use like any damage Pack Spirit you have for attacks. And yeah, I believe that's pretty much it. At level 60, I sold everything and swapped into my build that I'm playing now, pretty much. So yeah, that's it for the Carino story build that I played this season. Thanks everyone for watching, and stick up for the next part. Bye!